The new TCR Australia Series made its Victorian debut last weekend at Phillip Island. Remarkably for this time of year, the weather was fantastic and probably the largest crowd to ever turn out for a Shannon's Nationals round at the island were mostly enthusiastic about the new class. Dylan O'Keefe and Will Brown once again shared the honours, with O'Keefe dominating Saturday's first race before another comfortable Race 2 win on Sunday morning. Things went awry for the Alfa Romeo driver in Race 3, however, after serious damage in a first lap incident involving Andre Heimgartner, Tony D'Alberto and John Martin. Martin hit the passenger side of O'Keefe's car, causing major damage to both machines. This left the Hyundai i30N pair of Will Brown and Nathan Morecambe to take control, going on to a 1-2 finish. Third in the race was a Melbourne Performance Centre VW Golf driven by Aaron Cameron, who finished just ahead of his teammate for the weekend, Garth Tander, in the Audi RS3. The new class has already shown plenty of promise, and with a field of 18 cars already on the grid, things should only get better from here on. One man who's in no doubt about the potential of the new class is veteran Supercars team owner and former driver Garry Rogers. Gary's already invested heavily in the class, and as he told In Pit Lane, his current fleet of 4 cars is about to grow even larger.
I mean, we're in the motor racing business, and we're a great bunch of people with me for a lot of years, and we needed something more to do than what we currently had underway, and we looked at the TCR program, and it looked pretty appealing, obviously from a cost-wise and also from a manufacturer's interest point of view, so we thought we'll give it a go, so we have given it a go.
We certainly have. I mean, some of the other cars are owned by the series. You've actually made the investment in these things, so obviously you're very keen and very positive about the future. Where do you think this can go, and how quickly can it go there?
Well, I suppose how quickly depends on how many cars eventually come along, but when you think that this is only the second race meeting, and I think we've got about 19 cars here this time, and from what I know, there's about another 5 or 6 imminent, so within a very short space of time there's going to be, say, 25 cars, and from what I see and what people are talking to me about, the interest level is great enough that it will grow. Whether it grows as good as and as quickly as Supercars, no one really knows, but I see why it shouldn't, or no reason why it shouldn't, because, as I say, cost effectiveness is pretty important today, and you know, this certainly, the TCR program is very cost efficient to be able to operate at a reasonably high level.
How important, you mentioned manufacturers there. You've got 8 different manufacturers at the moment. There are certainly more eligible. How important is it to have that variety and have the possibility of manufacturer involvement in a series like this?
Well, I think from a public interest, I think it is very important. I'm not so sure that it really is a big help to the teams, because that's sort of one thing that's perhaps not so negative about it, is the fact that the manufacturers aren't trying to run the series. I think it's being run more by people who've got their own money involved and are trying to get the category up and running. And I think if we get too much manufacturer interest, I think the interest is great from a publicity point of view for their product and to get their product in front of the media and the public. But I think we've got to be careful that we don't have a whole lot of factory teams trying to outspend each other. And the next thing, it'll be a very awkward show to keep going at the level of what it's proven to be so far. I mean, what we've got to understand, this category is fresh to Australia, but it's not certainly fresh to the world. I mean, these cars are very, very popular. Europe, certainly, you know, the Asian region, and now the US is jumping on. So I can't see anything but positivity, but it'll be like everything. We all keep working hard, some good will come.
Now, you've also got an interest in the Formula S 5000. We've been following that project through from its early days with Chris Lambden. Now you've taken it to the next step. The next step is supposedly the opening round in September. How close are you to that, and what sort of field might we see there?
At this stage, we're programming our workforce around having our 14 cars finished, and I see no reason why that won't happen.
What do you think is the long-term future of that? I mean, as you mentioned, the TCR is an international formula. This is uniquely Australian. It's a nod back to the days of Formula 5000, which was really the last time we had an open-wheel series in Australia that had, you know, certainly public appeal. Do you think that these cars could recapture some of that magic?
Well, I think they already have. I mean, in the short time that we've been testing the one complete car that we've got, there's been an immense amount of interest, And I think whilst it's perhaps a little bit foreign to other countries, it's not foreign to New Zealand. I mean, they've got a similar series currently running. 5,000's race in the US. I know this is a little bit different, but really the noise, the sound, the excitement that these cars generate is not dissimilar to the days of the old 5,000s. And I think we all know how popular that they certainly were with crowds all around the world.
We know obviously your main game is the Supercars at the moment, but lots of challenges for that category ahead. How do you think they're going to go in sort of evolving to meet those challenges over the next 5 or 6 years?
I think they're doing a very good job from what I see of it. I mean, clearly it's the premium category. The only issue is the cost, and I think if the management does a sensible job in controlling the costs, I can see only positivity for the supercars. But as I say, they have to be very, very aware of making sure that the cost doesn't just continue to become unmanageable.
Well, you've certainly made a huge investment in the future of the sport. Congratulations. Good to see you here this weekend, and we'll catch you around the track. But for now, thanks for joining us in Pit Lane.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Certainly the feedback we received walking around the track on Sunday was most positive about the class. Even welded-on V8 supercar fans had to admit that the cars were fun to watch, sounded good and provided plenty of action. Of far more interest were the number of drivers and owners from other categories who were at the track to do a bit of research, and from them, once again, the response was very positive. Look, TCR's not going to replace supercars, not yet anyway, and probably not in the foreseeable future. But if the quality of the racing and the enthusiasm of the fans that we spoke to at Phillip Island can be continued around the country, then there's no doubt at all that TCR could become a very welcome addition to the Australian motorsport landscape in the years to come, and a great alternative career path for young Australian drivers. We hope you've enjoyed this special In Pit Lane Winter Update edition. We'll have more in the weeks to come before we return to the RMA TV studios and Channel 31 Melbourne for a brand new series of In Pit Lane Live starting in September. But remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure you click on notifications to be alerted when we've got new content online. And coming soon, we'll have some special live feedback shows from our lavishly appointed corporate headquarters beyond the suburban curtain in Grand Prix City, Melbourne. So until next time, from all of the In Pit Lane crew, thanks for watching, and it's bye for now.